Hello. So today I'm going to be breaking down how I made this track, so hopefully you can appreciate the track a little bit more. I won't play the track right now. You can go ahead and listen to the entire track. Up on the top right now there should be an I button, or you can just go to the description and it should be there too. So I'm not going to go too in depth, but I will open up the serum patches so you can copy them if you want. So the first thing I did was, well, I had another project where I made some cool like vocal chains. I made a sort of robot vocal thing, and then I made this vocal thing, which you're about to hear in a couple seconds. And I'm not going to show you how I made these vocals exactly because it's in another project. I just brought it in from that project over here. But all I'm doing here is just cutting out the low end under 200 and cutting out the harsh frequencies after 3000, and then lowering these frequencies because they're a little bit too harsh as well. They're ear piercing. This is what it sounds like.
Hello? Is anyone there?
I would show you how that sounds like without the effects, but like I said, it's in another project. But that's just my nephew saying, hello, is anyone there? I told him to say that and he did pretty good. So I just took that and brought it over here. But yeah, I thought it was really cool and it sounded like a good vocal for dubstep. So I did just that. I put that vocal in. Then I started making this first drop, which I'm not sure if you can call this dubstep, but I'm gonna call it dubstep just for the sake of the video. Start with the drums. I just have this kick. Didn't really do much. I just yeah, did that because I want it to be more tighter. You can do that in FL Studio and then make kicks tighter. Like I can do this. See that? You can also do that in Edison. You go here and then you can do it manually like that. So if you don't like the end, or you want to cut it off a little bit more, make it more tighter, you can do that in Edison as well. I like doing that a lot. So that's the kick. It's just a simple kick. And then the side chain, of course. I have the same side chain for the kick and the snare. And then for the snare, I just have the same snare reversed into it on the first snare, and then on every other snare. So the first, the third, the fifth, the seventh, and so on and so forth. Not anything special there. Yeah, I think the snare was a little bit longer, and what I did was I went into Edison, I did the little trick I showed you just then to make the snare shorter, and then that sounds like this because it was a lot longer, the tail, and I didn't want that. I wanted it to be snappy and quick. Right before the drop, I have this little section. I didn't want to keep it empty after these vocals. Kind of sounds too empty.
Is anyone there?
So I added this little sample from Alien Raid sample pack from Moonboy. All I did was normalize it, and then I just panned it left and right. So I think this is right, left, but yeah. Never mind, it's left, right. Huh. I thought the bottom was right and the top was left, but I guess I'm wrong. Then we have this little reverse kick I like to use a lot for like hard hitting drops. You just take the main kick from the drop and reverse it. Just press reverse. I normalize the kick always. I don't know why. I don't really need it for this kick, but I still do it anyway. And then since that one had some out, I copied it and then pasted it in the in, so that it's not like this, so it kind of flows in more. And then that leads into the kick itself, so it makes it drop harder. Whoop. And then the kick, I didn't like the high end too much. Felt like it was lacking a little bit, so I added this closed hat on every kick, and even like on this snare. I just kind of felt like it was right to put it somewhere where the kick wasn't there, to like I don't know, make it different. So that would sound like this with the snare over here. The hats, pretty simple. I didn't want to mess with the hats for too long, so I just dropped 2 hats, I think. 2 or 3 hats. Yeah, 3 hats. This is 1, this is 2, and this is 3. And I just did this pattern. And then the kick in the snare sounds like this. And then we got the rides. For this one, I was gonna use just this one ride. It wasn't enough stereo, so I just panned one hard left, the other one panned it hard right, and then that gave it more stereo. And also, they're slightly different, as you can see from the way you look at it. Like you can see, this has more transients than this one. This one's more smooth because I edited this one in Edison, like I showed you earlier. So I lowered the volume something like that. I think it was like that maybe, because I didn't want it to be too snappy. And I just dropped that in here. And then yeah. And then either way, I kept the other one, which was snappy. So I have snappy, and then smooth, and then together they sound like this. As you can see, like I have these empty areas. That's where the fill bases are. I'll get to those in a minute. And then yeah. So when I made the main bass for this drop. By the way, this is all one bass. By the way, that's all one bass. It's the same bass. When I made that bass, the OTT kind of boosted this crispy sound at the end, and it sounded nice. I just without the reverb, of course, I sampled that and I used it as like a perk kind of thing, like a shaker maybe. If you listen to the whole thing, like this is the actual growl right here. I just cut the end of it, the very end. Yeah. So I just cut that end, and obviously I put some effects over it too. Yeah, I think if we turn this off, let me see. Yeah, so I have this shaker kind of thing, and then the crowd effect. Obviously, if you don't have this in your drops, you're pretty dumb. And then we have this, also from the Alien Raid sample pack from Moon Boy, which actually, it's not supposed to be in that pitch. Let me copy that and paste it. Or sorry, copy it and reset it. That's the original pitch, but so that it fit in this track, I had to move the pitch to the same pitch of the track. And then I have that side chained. Whenever the bass is playing, I just play the sound over it. Crashes. I have this hardstyle crash, because obviously I gotta throw some hardstyle stuff over any track, really, any track that I can. And then I got these regular crashes. All these together sound like this. I like me some reverb. The downlifters. So I use this one. I never used it before. It has this crispy tone at the beginning. I like it. Just a basic sweep. And then we got this thing. It's a bass, but I cut the low end. Now it's a high-pitched zappy boy kind of thing. The same thing as this. Whenever the bass is playing, I'm playing these things. It's just a little different tone there. And then this one is different as well. These two. I think I lowered the pitch on this one. And then I lowered it even more on this one. Yeah, that just goes on throughout the entire track. Or sorry, the entire drop. And then we got this ARP, which I added last minute after I finished the entire track. Still felt like this first drop was lacking space. It felt a little bit empty. So I wanted to add a little bit more stuff in the background, but I found that this ARP, after I made it, it just kind of didn't fit in the drop or anywhere at all. It just didn't fit in the track. So I lowered the volume a lot, but it's still there. If you listen very closely, you can still hear it in the track. I made that ARP from scratch, by the way. All the notes and the ARP itself, the sound itself, in the background. So I have that repeating in the background, but I actually cut it whenever the main bass isn't playing. So when there's fills, I shut that boy off, and then he comes back over here. I'm not going to be explaining these here in patches, but I'll just show them to you. So this is how I made the ARP. Just look at this. I used a downsample I think 2 times in this track, which I never use. I just kind of wanted this track to be different, so I just tried things that I never tried before. So yeah, copy these settings if you want, and then name it Amity ARP. I didn't even save this as an ARP. I'm gonna save it right now. Amity ARP. Save that bitch. This high pitch boy. Open that up. I also have a lot of effects, so like OTT manipulator to make it more wider. Stereo all the way. Cut the low end. Cut some harsh frequencies because they were ringing. Like I don't like that shit. The ringing whistle things. Then I use sausage fattener, or as I like to call it, Jorge fattener. Don't ask questions. Reverb, of course, because it's in the background. I like to use reverb. I like to drown things in reverb when I want them to be in the background. And I lower the volume a lot. So yeah, this is how I made this. Look at it. Look at it. Steal it. Let's go to this one. I don't know why I skipped this, but there it is. Look at it. I made it from scratch, but I actually copied these settings from Ray Volpe, and I kind of tweaked it to my liking. Actually, some things, like little details, and then of course all these effects for the pitchy boy. Pew 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 pew. This I can't really show you how to make it. I think Moonboy recently uploaded a video of his 5 I think bass techniques, and I think he shows how to make this in that video. Let's go to the sub. So for the bass, the sub, like all these basses here, it's one bass, so let me just call it a bass. So for this bass here, the sub was okay at first, but then as I kept listening to the track over and over again, it just kind of felt weird. I didn't like it. It felt dirty, and no one likes dirty sub. Well, at least I don't like a dirty sub. So I made a separate sub and then cut the sub from this. I cut like 200 hertz, I believe. So at the very end here, I'm cutting off 200 hertz. I always use 48 for the slope, like a lot. Yeah, so I'm cutting off the low one on that one, and then bringing it back in with this separate sub. And as you can see, all this this is the pitch bend for the sub. So I'm just following the pattern of the main bass. It sounds like this with these pitch bends. Yeah, I'm not gonna play the whole thing, but oh man, that sub feels good. It made me kind of space out a little bit. I like that sub a lot. So I'm doing that. Without it, it just sounds it doesn't sound like it. Sounds like it's a different sound, but when you follow the pattern that the bass is playing, it feels like it's one sound. You know what I mean? It feels like this sub is actually coming from the bass itself. which it's not. It's a whole separate sound by itself. And then at the end, I kind of wash it out. And then I bring it back to normal because this sub is the same as this one. And having reverb on a sub isn't good. Yeah, but I just kind of washed it out a little bit to lead into the break of the track. Let me just show you my sub. I made this up like a long time ago, actually. Months ago, I made this sub. It's called Bass Chord Lows, because I'm stupid. So this is what it is. Just a sub. Lower it an octave. Turn up the level all the way. And then I don't even use this. I used to use it for like a separate, you know, like an octave higher kind of thing. But I don't use that anymore. But I could if I want to. I just have to turn it on. And then we have this to make it feel buzzy, because without it, it sounds like this. And then if you add that on, it makes your sub fill more frequencies and it makes it feel good. Cool. Bass tips with me. And then a tube distortion, because distortion is key. Well, then I cut off the high end, because without it just this overpowers the entire sound. We don't want that, so we cut that down a little bit. Calm your ass down. And then I have the sausage fattener, or as I like to call it, the Jorge fattener, again, like 25% I believe. And then cut off some frequencies. I didn't cut them off, I just lowered them a little bit, because I don't like these peaks right here. They kind of make the sub muddy, and I don't like that. And then I just lowered some more unwanted frequencies. Like this is too much. I don't need that. It's supposed to be more focused over here. And I felt like there was just too many frequencies here, not giving space for the main bass. And then this just sounds terrible. Let me listen to that. I don't know. It just sounds weird. So I lowered that. And then we have this. You can barely hear it. That high end, it just wasn't. It wasn't pleasing. You know, it was kind of overpowering the sound again. So I just lowered it a little bit so it's not too noticeable. It's more in the background, that high end buzz thing. And now we're more focused on the low end of the sub, and that's the way it should be. So alright, now we reach the bass. So this is the bass. New growly bass boy. I believe I made a different version of this, and then I made it again, and I made it a little bit different, so I called it new growly bass boy. Yeah, so this is how it was made. I think I mixed some of Moonboy's bass tips with Ray Volpe's tips, and I got this. So yeah, let's go over here. We got all these effects. Turn off all the effects. Okay, that's cool, but we need to sound louder and crispier, so we go OTT. So we got another OTT, and then we got another OTT, and then we got this what's this called? Vocodex, and called it Growl Maker. I made this a long time ago, actually. It sounds good. And then we got Jorge Fattener again, and then we got the Amity low pass preset, which is just one token thing, just low passing. So all I have to do is this, and then yeah, you got a low pass thing. Just right click it, create automation clip. You can make your own thing. Just copy these settings. Just delete the other tokens, leave this one, and then do this thing. Yeah, just do your own thing. Alright, and an EQ, boosting some growly frequencies and some main frequencies, I'd say. Like these frequencies were really important for the crispiness of the sound, so I just boosted that, and then I limited it, and then we got this because yeah. And then another Jorge Fattener, but I'm not boosting it even 1%. And then this, not too sure what that is. Don't look at it too much. And I'm lowering some harsh frequencies. apparently. And then some reverb, which I use at the right here, and I'm also using the low pass preset to open up the sound little by little. And then when it gets over here, it's full. It's full. The sound is full, and then yeah, that's the bass. So I showed you the bass. I didn't explain how I made this though. Like, why is this all the same bass? How is this all the same bass if it sounds so different in some parts? This, these fills, yeah, this it's the same bass. I just lowered the octave really low. So this is playing the note A2. Wow, that sounds really good. So if you got a bass, got a nice crispy bass, try going really low or really high and see what happens, because that could give you an entirely different sound and you don't know about it. It sounds really good. So that's how I made that. I didn't change anything at all from these, I think. All I did was lower the pitch really low, or the note it's playing really low, and that's about it. And that's pretty much the same for all of these fills actually. I either pitch them up really high or pitch them down really low. And then we go to this green stuff, the pitch bend. Yeah, that's a pitch bend. Yeah. I just have it set to go up 4 notes and down 4 notes. And then the middle is the regular pitch. And then you see this pitch bend, it's at the regular pitch like I just told you, but the pitch is actually changing. Why? What's that? Because I'm actually also automating the coarse pitch, which is, if we go right here, this right here, this is basically kind of like the pitch, but it's not, and I don't know how to explain it, so don't ask me too many questions. So I'm just automating that coarse pitch, and actually let me show you how that looks like. So look at this number as I play the sound. And of course, as you can see, they're all the same bass. I didn't lie to you. I think I lowered this even more than this one. That's how I made that one. I lowered it in an octave even lower than the other one. But yeah, this is just coarse pitch, coarse pitch, coarse pitch. Slightly going down. And then back to the top. Complemented with the pitch bend, and then we get this going. Apparently I changed the LFO rate. That's a thing. So I go instead of so yeah, and then I put it back to normal, and then I do that again, and blah blah blah. Chorus pitch, pitch bend, blah 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 blah. And then this, I just go up like this, blah blah. LFO rate really low, and then it goes up and up. Let's explain the intro. So this, what is this? That, my friend, is just this pad right here, which is very beautiful. I saved this a long time ago. I don't know where I got it. Apparently I got it from Weather M, whatever that is. I didn't make this patch, but you can copy this if you want. Yeah, cool. Alright, so you copy that, and yeah, that sounds like this. So all I did for the intro part, like the very intro, the intro of the intro, I just added a lot of reverb on this first chord, recorded that, and then I think these are different. So this one I just pitched down an octave, and then this one is regular. No, actually I pitched this one up an octave, and this one is pitched down an octave. So neither of them are the regular pitch. And then this was just to lead into this, because without it, it kind of felt unnatural. Leading into this, it just kind of felt unnatural, because it goes. So to fill in that gap where it kind of goes, I put that in there, and yeah, fills in that gap. Alright, so the snare. This is the same exact snare as the main snare in the drop. All I did was add a shit ton of reverb, which is right here, and I cut some of the high end. So yeah, that's it. Oh yeah, and I pitched it up an octave, and yeah. And then I have these kind of fill snares, which are the same exact snare again, but pitched an octave even higher. And then I have this one. This one is even an octave higher than the last one. I only use that once in the entire track right there. And the sub, same as the drop, same as everywhere else. The sub is always the same sub. And then leading into the build-up of the track, I just do this with the low pass for these chords and for the bass, or sorry, for the sub. And then you kind of get the idea. And then I bring it back up to normal over here, as well as the chords over here. Alright, and now for the this kind of garage loop that I made. I really like it a lot. I like it a lot. Yeah, I just added reverb on these samples, lowered the volumes a lot, and just kind of hope for the best. I just plop some in from the sample pack. I'm not gonna look for it right now, but these are from my Garage Foley sample pack apparently, and yeah, just put these together. And then we have this loop. Can't remember where I got this, but I have it. Doing some funny stuff over here, apparently. It's not even perfectly in time with the BPM of this track. Like, it kind of like, you can hear it like stutter and stuff, but in the background you can't really notice it. So they all just have the same processing, I believe. Cut the low end, add some reverb, that's about it. And then I have this pan to the left a little bit, and then we have this loop thing. Of course I added reverb again, cut the low end, and that's about it. And I have that with the low pass at the beginning, kind of lead into this, which you can hear if you listen to the track closely. And then of course, crash transition into the intro, and I think that's the intro explained. We reached the build up now. Low pass these out. Now we got the sub but low passed. Now we got the bass but low passed. And then we got this going on. And we got all these uplifters. Just some pure white noise. That's from the Alien Rave pack as well. I used a lot of samples from there, apparently. And it's a small ass sample pack, I'm not gonna lie. Look at that. They're mostly like the same basses, just slightly different. And yeah. Look at that. Okay. So then we got this. This is my favorite one of all. Near the end it kind of goes woo, 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 woo. It's cute and funny. But you can barely notice it in the track anyway, but yeah, sounds good all together. And then we got the vocal, which inspired the track, basically, my nephew right here. And then this I also explained, and this I also explained already, so I think we're good. So here I just shut off the reverb, and anything at all actually that's playing, I just turn it off. Everyone shut up, and then I let this play.
Is anyone there?
And then we get to the drop, which I already explained. Yeah, I can't remember if I said this, but I have crashes on every whatever this is. I think that's 8 bars is what we call it. So there's a crash. I put these together. I think I explained that. And then we got the downlifters only at the beginning of the drop, and then we got these things going every now and then. I think these are also 8 bars. So every 8 bars I got this going on. Yeah. Kind of lead into another part of the drop. It sounds nice. And then here I turned off these boys because I wanted this bass to be the main attraction of this part. So yeah, I did that, and then I think I just added reverb near the end over here to the bass to lead into this, which I'm about to explain, as well as I used these risers and I put them here. A part of this I just added a lot of reverb, just the same as this pretty much. Added a lot of reverb, reversed it, and then added some in, so it kind of swoops into there. All together sounds like this. Very good. It really helps the track kind of move on to the next part, as well as the reverb over here. Like it's fading away. Oh no, the bass is going away. That means we're going into the next part of the track, which I'm gonna explain now. Finally, this crash again, and I got this rain. I got this from YouTube, from a live stream, a rain live stream, 24-hour live stream. I just started recording it and then stopped recording it, of course, and then I just went to an online website, MP4 to MP3, and then I just threw that in there, and then I got this. Some nice rain. I think I didn't do anything at all but cut the low end exactly 250 hertz to be exact. And then we got these downlifters. That one's also from the Alien Rave pack. That's the same one as over here. We got the pad. And then on this part though, I also have not just the pad alone, but I also have this hardstyle super saw playing even more notes to fill in frequencies, so it sounds more lush and yummy. And I have the filter of that hardstyle super saw moving up and down and up and down, so it's opening and closing just slightly. Sub again, just following the pad. And we got this ding doom, which I'm very proud of actually. I named it ding doom, and this is what the ding doom sounds like. So we have this down sample again, just a little bit, not too much. It's 25%. We got reverb, plate reverb because it's superior to hall reverb, in my opinion. Don't at me. And square wave, and the filter, bling 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 bling. You know. And I'm using this as the envelope because I never use these. Just get these out of here. Come on, allow me to just get rid of this somehow. Serum, please. Please. I don't need this. I don't need this. Never use that. I use these as envelopes. I use these as LFOs. I use these as anything. I just use these a lot. Made this melody, which complements the chord. That just makes you move. It's so yummy. It just like, if you don't move while this part is playing, you don't have soul. And then after that, this is what I made. Little altar boy, lower the formats all the way, but higher the pitch all the way. Higher the pitch? Sure, why not? I use this later on. I just turn the pitch down even lower, a whole octave. So that would actually mean that this pitch goes down to here. That probably could have been a lot cleaner if I did that, actually. Why didn't I think of that until now? Instead of using two little altar boys, I could have just... And then I cut not the low end, but I cut a lot of the lower frequencies under 500 hertz, and the higher frequencies after 6,000 hertz. And then a low pass preset, I think. Oh yeah, I use this later on for the final drop. And I lower the volume, apparently. Oh yeah, also for that last part of the drop. What's this? Oh yeah, we have this art still going on in the background. And I also forgot to mention that it's panning left and right and left and right and left, or sorry, right and left and right and left. Pan your stuff. Use pan more often. By the way, I'm not using this, don't look at it. Yeah, let's just continue. We got this crash reverse thing leading into the build up right here. I don't know why in the project this first kick doesn't play. I don't know why it doesn't play. But yeah, I low pass this over here, then I bring it back up to normal, which sounds like this. Skip a little bit. And then I have this snare thing at the end. So I put the uplifters, I think I used these same ones earlier. Over here, I lower the pitch of the vocals. By the way, I'm just pitching these manually right here. Over here, sometimes I use this pitch in conjunction to this one. And then this one, I kind of pitch up. So that sounds like this. Wah wah wah. Hear that? Because if not, it would just be but I make it wah . You know what I mean? So it's not the same exact vocal twice. By the way, the distortion is from Lil Altar Boy itself. This one, I don't have the distortion all the way at all. And then this one's distortion is maximum. So then we got this going on. I added a clock tick thing. The reverb you're hearing is baked into the sample. I didn't add reverb or anything at all. And I'm using the same tambourine loop as the intro. We got the side chain going on every time the kick plays. For the snare, I added this on top of the snare. That sample and this one, to make the snare a little bit different from the rest of the other snares. It just hits harder and it's crispier, and that's where the vocals stop. and then instead of playing the same vocal that I've been playing for you the entire time, I switch it up with this scream effect. These are like 10 samples of female screams. I just took one that sounded very good and pitched it to the correct pitch. It's literally just a scream, and I just added that distortion, you know. This is the same little altar boy as the other one. Same stuff, you know. And then we got this. So we reached the drop. I got lost every like 5 seconds, like, oh, what does this do? I forgot what this does. Or what does this do? What is this? What is this? Serum 30? I don't know what that means. What is this automating? Why is this here? Do I need this here? Like every 5 seconds. I worked on this, and then I worked on this, and then I worked on this, and then I worked on that, and then I worked on this, and came back to this because it sounded weird. And then I put this over here. Does it sound good? No? Okay, let's delete it. Put this over here. Does that sound good? No? Okay, fine. Then I'll mess with you a little bit more, and I'll mess with you, and that's just how the drop went. But I had this main idea in mind, which would be boom, 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 boom. So that's what I went for. So I did that. Yeah. So that's my idea right there. Boom, 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 boom. So for this one, I have a combs filter. Comb filter is very, very, very important for this part, because if I turn this off, it's very static, and it does sound good. I'm not gonna lie, it still sounds good without the comb filter. But if you add the comb filter, it just makes things a little bit more spicier, a little bit more interesting. Yeah, I just the only thing I'm doing in this combs filter is the usual. It's usually at like 5%, like around here. It's usually around there, but every now and then I move the cutoff. As you can see over here, I just move this cutoff. So most of the wubs and everything, actually, like all the filter work, all that filter work you're hearing is all from the combs filter in Serum Effects. And then of course OTT at 55%, a little bit of gain because it lost some of its volume. And then I learned this trick from Ray Volpe, the British Clean. Love it. Use that after all your OTTs. Love it. If you're working on basses, use it after your OTTs. Then I just did this. Yeah, I'm not gonna explain that. This a little bit. Yeah. Pretty much same stuff as the last one I showed you, so I'm not gonna explain it too much. Your sub should be in the middle always. Never have stereo sub. That's a sin. So then I just made these frequencies a little bit more stereo. These I kept the same. This one I kept more in the middle. Not too much. So mostly I'm just messing with that filter I showed you earlier. LFO rate. So I'm going to show you the bass so you can copy this if you want. I copied these settings from Ray Volpe, and now you can copy them from me. But I think Ray Volpe didn't show the entire bass. But I'm going to show you the entire thing, so you can copy it. You can copy my version of the bass. My bass sounds a little bit different from his because he didn't show the entire bass. So I did that. I'm moving that. LFO rate. Moving that every now and then. Don't know why. Don't ask me. Sounds good. Just mess with these actually. For this second drop, I have the pad going on. And then come back up. And just like in the other drop, I have this every now and then. And then I have 3 of these here, as well as the scream going up in volume, kind of fading in, as well as over here. And then this is a hardstyle kick. What I did was reverse it. As you can see, that's the talk of the hardstyle kick. I think I went into Edison and just cut off the half of the other half that I didn't need of the kick, and then reversed it, and then I added some Camel Crusher OTT. Boom, there you go. Nice kind of effect to lead into your basses. So I use that every now and then to lead into my second bass. Then I have this going on. This is where I start to get spicy. That's a sub, but with the bass and then the actual effects. Here I'm doing the filter thing with the Combs filter. Really fast, going down, slightly down, and then all the way down. I just go. I'm using 2 notes, by the way, for this bass, so it feels more fuller, I guess. So I'm just doing something like that, somewhere around there. I just messed with the notes and made this kind of mini melody. And yeah, that's the fill. And then here I think it's just an octave higher. And then added reverb. By the way, I'm doing this reverb swell thing. I mean, you can barely hear, but over here you can hear it a lot because I keep it on for a while and then I turn it off. This kind of leads into the next bass very nicely and fills in this empty space. So this wub, wah, 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 wah. That's just the comb filter again, going up and down. And then I have this same thing, the filter, and then this is the pitch, I think, for the bass. And then I have the sub following that bass. This might be the pitch for the sub, actually. And then we have this going on again. This one's even faster than this wub, so it sounds kind of creepy and I like it. Boop, 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 boop. So that's twice as fast as this one. I made this one, this swell thing, different by just, you know, changing the pattern a little bit so that it's not the same as this one. And then for this one, this was an accident, just throwing stuff everywhere, seeing if it fits. I noticed that this thing all the way up, whatever Serum 35 is, that thing all the way up, sounds really good, so I just went wah. And that's how I got that. I don't even know what Serum 35 is, I'm sorry. And this is the same thing as earlier, but I think it's slightly different. Because this time I'm not using that. I'm just using this. So they're all the same tone, basically. Just different notes. And I think this one's like, yeah, just a couple. Not a whole octave higher, but just a couple notes higher. Just to spice it up a little bit. Like, you know, make things different every now and then. So basically all this is the same shit going on. The filter and this and that. Serum 36, Serum 35, Serum 32, whatever that means. I should start naming these more often, but yeah, and then we have this one going down as well as the sub following it. And then that leads into this. Oh, by the way, we have these same principle as the first drop, where I lead into the next part with these risers. And then yeah, we still have this high boy every time the bass is playing, and we still have these drums aren't too different. Let's just look at the hi-hats. They're a little bit different. For the kick, I really wanted to emphasize the basses, so I kind of followed the bass pattern. Boom, 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 boom. So that's what I did for the kick. And then every now and then, of course, I add another kick. Just spice things up. And then we got this, same thing as earlier. This, of course, crowd effect. If you don't use it, you're. And then we got this on every main bass, and the same thing for the ARP. But anyway, my computer doesn't really like this part too much. But all it is of course we got the crash going on, crash, and then we got the downlifter stand drop. We got some reverse crashes, and then we got the kick and the snare. So yeah, drum and bass. That's all I can say for these drums and snares. And I change it up over here. And I change it up over here again. Sidechain. This always on the kick to add that high end thing, you know, the click, and then the bass. Oh, which I actually have more of that reverb swell going on. This is the same exact bass as the one before it. This one is the same bass but an octave higher to add more frequencies to the higher end. But it's kind of hard to explain how I did this, but I made it so that the one that is pitched in an octave higher only plays when there's reverb. So when you hear reverb, you're hearing the higher pitched one. Sorry. You know, I don't know how to explain it, but it only plays when the reverb's on. So yeah, and then I kind of I guess this is this bass. I'm not sure, can't remember. I think this is this bass which I silenced, so I made the stereo as hell, and together they sound like this. See how different it sounds? It sounds more full and shit with this on. And then we got the pad going on the whole way through. Not just this, you know, just the volume is low. And this. And then chords, I'll get to that in a minute because that's very important. These vocals, I'm using the same ones as earlier, just lowered the volume, cut more of the high end with the low pass thing, and yeah, we got this going on again. We got this in the middle, ear candy every now and then, and we got these hi-hats going on. I don't think I changed them at all. But what I did change was the ride. It just ugh, the energy, man. The energy. It really does do stuff. And we got the crowd effect again, and we got this ARP in the background, you know what I mean? But yeah, the main thing here though, the main thing of this part of the drop is the chords, of course. The chords, of course. So the notes themselves, look at them, steal them. Let's get into depth over here. Look at them, steal them. Look at him still. I got this idea from, I'm not gonna lie, I got this idea from Ray Volpe, like the little tiny notes in between. And I love this chord progression. It's kind of like a superhero kind of vibe thing, like everyone's happy and stuff. I really like these chords. That's what I'm trying to say. And at the end, I didn't really like it. I didn't really like what I did here. Just going down in chords. So what I did instead was, so I kind of added a note on top. Or I think I added a note here. Not sure. I guess I didn't add a note in here. But what I did add was a note over here. And 2 notes over here, I think. So I added notes. Yeah, just add notes in between your chords if you have any chords with too much space in between them, so that you can spice them up. And yeah, that's about it, I think. It's 3 stacks, or sorry, yeah, I guess you call these stacks. It's a stack of 3, not 3 stacks. It's a stack of 3. We got this, the saw, the main saw thing. I didn't save any of these. Why would I? Then we got this one. Oh, I love these. Use more squares in your saws. Use squares to complement your saws, is what I'm trying to say. They just sound so good. And then I add another set of squares an octave higher. And then yeah, let me show you the stuff. I use some hyper, compression, and some hyper, some compression, and some hyper and some compression. What do you know? They're all the same. That's about it. And then I have that going on over here. Slowly low past that, as well as the pad. So it just kind of slowly goes down as I play this final chord to end the track entirely. Okay, so yeah, I know I didn't explain too much, and the things I did explain, I explained too much. But I hope you learned something, I suppose. Or maybe you don't know about music at all, and maybe I inspired you to look more into it. Or maybe you've learned to appreciate electronic music more, because it's not easy. And this compared to other people's tracks, this is nothing. This is simple shit right here. Like this is simple. This is simple. Come on, man. It does take a while, I'm not gonna lie. It took me a while to make this part right here. But like the entire track altogether took me 12 hours. Just 12 hours. Like people spend weeks and weeks on tracks. I've been recording for an hour and a half. I have to cut this down a lot and make it shorter than an hour, hopefully. I'm stretching, sorry. With that being said, I'm gonna end the video right here and hope you enjoyed or learned something.
You don't know what I would do to be with you.